Ricky, is that a game you thought you had won it for a long period?
I thought we were the better team.
The last 15 minutes mustn't have been fun at all, Ricky, what we're going through here.
Well, I just feel sorry for the players, and it's happened every week. We're just a very, very easy team to penalise. I'm sick and tired of Daniel Anderson talking to my coaches during the week and saying, yeah, he understands in regards to the penalty, that wasn't a penalty, no penalty, no penalty, no penalty, and yet it still happens week in, week out. It's only because they're a very easy team to penalise. You haven't got any of the higher profile players where you can get the penalties or milk the penalty. It's bullshit. I just feel so sorry for the players. Bust your ass all week in preparation. I know what they go through, these boys. You have to go out there and to be 7-0 down in the second half, be the better football team to be 7-0 down in the second half, then lose at 8-1 and get a cheap penalty with 2 minutes to go. It's wrong. I really don't know where Daniel Anderson and these referees are taking the game. The NRL talk to broadcasters, they say don't bag the referees. There's referees there that are interpreting a different game of football to other referees. It's just not consistent. And these poor blokes go into a game of football like that, and they're the better team for the first half, the scoreline says so, and all of a sudden it's 7-0 in 35 minutes of football in penalty count, and yet there were probably 7 penalties there, and it probably could have been more that we were actually penalised for, and they're probably penalties. I'm not blown about that. There's no way they were that clean. It's just wrong. It was unfair tonight, and I really feel sorry for the players. But until they get it wrong, until the NRL gets it right, I just feel sorry for these blokes because that out there tonight was that was very, very obvious.
Did it decide the game, Ricky?
Oh, well, what do you think?
It's going to hurt you, isn't it?
Oh. Well, I mean,
you thought the penalties individually.
Yeah, they're probably penalties. Yeah, I'm not saying they weren't penalties. Over the last 2 weeks, we've thrown 2 good passes that were all ruled forward. Yet they were just too good for the refs. That wasn't a forward pass tonight to young Kalepi going through and scoring under the post. The pass was too good for the ref. Talk about first grade standards. Everybody's got to get to first grade standards. Now we sit here and we've got to front the media and we've got to try and talk to the media. And I'll try and do it as honestly as I can. We'll get those referees in here to talk about their bullshit errors.
Do you see any difference in that pass you're talking about, Ricky, to the one that Minicello scored?
No, I was on the sideline there.
They look pretty identical. One was real forward, one wasn't.
That's what I mean. Ask the refs about that. Ask Daniel Anderson about that. He'll come back and give you the sheet that I read during the week and don't understand. Obviously, I'm not that intelligent. But I read their reviews. I'm no further advanced in regards to reading their review. Going to be yes, correct decision, poor decision. No one's got any responsibility or any ownership of decisions or their referee performance. Indiscretion. Well, it's the referee's indiscretion. Well, right, it's right or wrong. And if he's wrong, he's not first grade standard. Put him back in the under-20s.
What do you do from here, Ricky? What do you follow up through the week?
No, I'm happy with the boys. We're the better team out there. No, we should have won tonight. You can't.
Mick Potter said last Monday that Melbourne were better.
Same referee, mate.
Yeah, Melbourne were better at talking to the referees, and that's why. Is that why you're being penalised and your opposition isn't? Is that what?
I don't have to worry about any other teams. But we're improving. I've got no dramas in regards to the performance and the way my team's playing. They're playing. They're improving. But we got beat 50-0 last 2 weeks ago, and we handled it. We copped it on the chin. Tonight should have been our game. You can't have a 7-0 penalty count and win a game of football, and yet it shouldn't have been 7-0. Simple.
On Friday night, Ricky, the referees missed tackle count against the Broncos in North Queensland, and Neil Henry.
Well, they'll get put back to the 20s for a week and come back up and learn how to count, please.
So the standards going backwards from last year when we thought things couldn't get any worse.
It's not for me to make a judgment. I've got to worry about a footy team, and I feel sorry for them. You know, we're growing. We're a young team. We're easy to penalise. We're easy to jump into. I'm up in the box and I'm hearing the referees, 2 referees saying hand on ball, yet no penalty. Jared, Reni, they go to the referee, they ask for an explanation. You get an explanation in friggin' Spanish. There's no explanation to a lot of the actual rules. The game's turning into a surrender, dive on the ground, play the ball, let's go again. It's getting into Super League era. It's going backwards. They're not machines. You can't hit the deck, play the ball, go again, and regardless of how quick it is. And it's interpretation of the game. It's putting too much pressure on referees. Referees are making mistakes, and yet out there tonight, there's no way my team is that ill-disciplined.
Reni, what did you say? There's been a lot of talk between the players when the camp was starting to climb. What was the talk between the players?
You can't get an answer out of the referees. I've asked Reni.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of the players themselves, reading them, they're not getting any favours from the referee, what they're trying to do, to tell each other to stay, to keep their morale, I suppose.
We work on it every week at training. I get the players in, I say, you are going to be penalised, you're easy to penalise at the moment. These poor buggers have been kicked like brown dogs over the last 2 years, and they're just easy to penalise. Penalise Parramatta, penalise Parramatta. It's happened for the last 6 weeks. And we just got to keep learning and growing under adverse situations in regards to how they referee us, because that wasn't right out there tonight.
So Rick, the more high-profile teams, Melbourne, etc., get treated differently from.
I didn't say that.
You used the word unfair earlier though, so I probably should give you the opportunity to explain that. Do you want to clarify that?
A lot of other words I like to use too, Steve. Unfortunately, the beautiful powers to be, I come down and say, okay, $10,000 fine there. Yep, that's a beautiful way to take the escape from the attention in regards to what the problem is. Problem is, 2 football teams out there busting their asses in regards to preparing all week to go into a game like that and have it decided not by the 2 football teams. That's the thing I get the shits about.
You're saying they're making mistakes, or are you saying they have a preconceived?
I'm just saying it's very hard. We're going into a game of football and a half, and I'll be careful what I say because I'd rather not answer that.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Excellent.